stormy ocean, you know. We're built for a life of radical harness and adventure. We're built for the maximum sacrifice. That's what it means to believe, to accept that. No holds barred. Away the hell we go. And so people say they're believing Christians. It's like, really? Really? You dare say that? You have no idea what you're saying. Because it's a total commitment. It's a total commitment to confront and ride out the worst. Well, I'll give you an example. So in the story of Exodus, the Israelites are lost in the desert. They're lost for like 45 years. And they're always whining and bitching and complaining and acting like, you know, privileged slaves and pining for the tyranny and hoping for the golden calf. And I think, well, no good God would do that. It's like, you're not paying attention to the story. What's the story? If you're lost and faithless and then you get whiny and resentful, it's just going to make it worse. And so you're in the desert and you don't have enough to drink, and there's all sorts of stupid things you can do that bring the snakes forward. And so that's what happens, is that it's already bad and they make it worse. So now there's all these poisonous snakes biting them. And they get tired of it eventually, and they go to Moses and they say, well, we know that you can talk to God, and so he thinks that some more snakes is cast a serpent in bronze and put it on a bronze pole. He calls upon the Israelites much later that they're terrified of, in orations still used now to represent their healing enterprise. A little of what poisons you makes you stronger. That's the theory, right? And that's the theory of voluntary confrontation. Well, Christ, the crucifix is the same image except expanded. It's like all possible snakes. It's all the things that could happen to you if the worst possible things happen to you all at once. And the Christian calling is to welcome that. Right? To become the sort of person who could welcome that. Job, for example, in the story of Job, Job is tortured by Satan himself. Job's a good man, and God's bragging about him in heaven, about how good he is, and Satan comes along and says, I don't think he's that good. And God says, what do you mean? And Satan says, he's just privileged. Things are going well for him, and so he's good. Let me at him for a while, and we'll see if he's good. And God says, I think he's good. Do your worst. And so Job is, all his enterprises collapse, his servants all die, his wealth is demolished. He ends up extremely ill with a disfiguring disease. He's sitting in the ashes, demolished. His wife tells him that all that's left for him is to shake his fist at God and die. And then his friends come and tell him that it's all his fault. And so that's Job. And what does Job do? Job says, these terrible things have happened to me, but that's not because of some central flaw in me. He maintains his faith in his integral humanity, and he refuses to lose faith in God. And it's kind of perverse in a way, because Job has every bloody reason to shake his fist at God and die, which is what his wife tells him to do. And Job's insistence is, no matter what happens to you, you're called upon to maintain faith and move forward. And that's expanded in the crucifixion story.
So with all your studies that you've done in the Bible, and I'm asking you because you have immersed yourself in it, and you've studied it for so long. Do you believe in it?
Well, I believe in it in the way that we just described. Do I believe that the truth sets you free? Absolutely. It isn't that I believe it even. I know it's true. I know it's true, and I try to live in that knowledge. It's very difficult to only think or say things that are true, but you can practice it. Mm-hmm. And it's a great relief. Well, as you pointed out, you don't have to keep track of anything. That's just that in and of itself is
it's freeing.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Freeing.
Do I believe that Christ is the way and the life, and that no one comes to the Father but through him? Sure. But I also know what that means. It means that Imagine that you want to have the Spirit of the Almighty dwell within you, say, in this Old Testament manner. How do you do that? By taking the burden of life on yourself voluntarily. Why? Because that causes the best within you to make itself manifest. You know that. Look, why did you push yourself on the military front? Why did you go become a Navy SEAL? That's a ridiculous thing to do, right? They just torture you to death in the water. Why'd you do it?
Because I wanted to serve my country in the highest capacity possible.
Okay, so why did you think that? So you believed that there was a highest capacity,
Yes.
right? So that was an element of faith. And so personally, you put yourself through this brutal transformative process. How did that change you?
In a lot of ways, it changed me.